Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you with a message of divine opportunity, a message that will shift your perspective and elevate your purpose. The doors that God is opening for you are not just ordinary opportunities, they are doors of destiny. This is a season of divine favor, a season of transformation, and a season where God is positioning you for something great. Every opportunity that comes your way is not by accident. It is not simply the result of chance or coincidence. It is a divine appointment, an orchestrated moment set by a higher purpose and a higher power. When we open our eyes to the truth of this, we begin to see that the doors before us are not random. These are opportunities designed specifically for us, placed on our path at just the right time to lead us toward our destiny. But the real challenge is recognizing them when they appear. In our busy lives, it is easy to become distracted by the demands of everyday routines, by the noise of the world, and by the pressures of immediate needs. But if we do not take the time to pause, reflect, and listen to the still, small voice guiding us, we might miss the very opportunities that have been divinely prepared for us. When God opens a door, He is not just offering us a chance for something new. He is offering us a chance for something significant. He is offering us a pathway to grow, to fulfill the purpose we were created for, and to step into a new season of our lives. We must recognize that every door that opens represents a new season, sometimes a season of challenge, but also one of incredible growth and transformation. Seasons of growth are rarely comfortable. They often come with discomfort, uncertainty, and a feeling of stepping into the unknown. But that discomfort is part of the divine design. It is in these moments of challenge that we are stretched, that our faith is tested, and that we begin to grow into the person we were meant to become. Without growth, there is no progress. Without stepping through those uncomfortable doors, there is no opportunity to experience the fullness of God's plans for us. When we understand that these opportunities are divinely orchestrated, we begin to approach life with a sense of purpose and expectation. No longer will we view events or situations as mere coincidences or random occurrences. Instead, we will see them for what they truly are, divine moments carefully placed on our path by a God who loves us and wants us to succeed. These are the moments when God invites us to step forward, to trust Him, and to move into new levels of our calling. These doors are not to be feared, they are to be embraced. To recognize these doors, we must first cultivate a mindset of expectancy. We must believe that God is always working on our behalf, even when we can't see it. Often, we wait for a door to open that fits neatly into our own plans or expectations. But God's plans are always bigger and more expensive than we could ever imagine. His timing is not our timing. His ways are not our ways. We must trust that His opportunities, even if they are different from what we expected, are perfectly suited to our purpose. They are the stepping stones to our greater destiny. The recognition of divine opportunities comes with a shift in how we view life. We must begin to see challenges as potential opportunities for advancement. The obstacles that seem like setbacks may in fact be the very doorways to our next level. God often uses adversity to prepare us for what lies ahead. The struggles you face today are not meant to defeat you. They are meant to prepare you for the greatness that lies beyond the door. When you walk through that door, you will find that you are equipped with the resilience, strength, and wisdom needed to succeed. Another key to recognizing these opportunities is understanding the role of faith. Faith is the lens through which we see God's plans for us. Without faith, we will look at the open doors in front of us and see nothing but challenges, difficulties, or even impossibilities. But with faith, we can see beyond what is visible and understand that the door is not just a passageway to a new opportunity. It is the fulfillment of God's plan. It is the answer to prayers you may have forgotten you even prayed. Faith allows us to step through doors even when the way seems uncertain. Faith reminds us that God is already ahead of us, preparing the way for success, and all we need to do is take that first step. Sometimes the doors that open before us may not look like what we expect, but that does not mean they are not for us. We must learn to trust the guidance of the Holy Spirit in discerning the opportunities placed before us. Just as a key fits into a lock that opens a door, faith is the key that unlocks the possibilities within each opportunity. And once we step through, we will realize that what we thought was a simple door was actually the gateway to a greater purpose, a greater vision, and a greater life than we could have ever imagined. Opportunities come in many forms, sometimes in the form of a new job, a new relationship, a new chance to learn, or even a new challenge. It's easy to dismiss these moments as ordinary, but when we view them through the lens of divine purpose, we understand that they are anything but ordinary. They are doors divinely orchestrated by God, inviting us to step into new seasons of growth and fulfillment. If we want to experience the full power of the doors God opens, we must first recognize them as the opportunities they truly are. These moments are not to be taken lightly. They are sacred, they are transformational, they are what will propel us forward into our destiny if we choose to walk through them in faith. And as we do, we will experience the fullness of God's purpose for our lives, moving from one season of growth to the next, ever advancing toward the person we were always meant to be. God's timing is often a mystery to us. As humans, we are bound by time. Seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years dictate the way we live our lives. We plan according to schedules, deadlines, and calendars, and we expect things to happen in a certain sequence or at specific moments. But God does not operate on human timing. His timing is not limited by what we perceive as the right moment. His timing is perfect, and His understanding of the right time is far beyond what we could ever comprehend. When we begin to recognize divine timing, we must accept that God's plans often do not align with our own. We may feel as though we are ready for something, whether it's a new opportunity, a breakthrough, or a shift in our circumstances. But God knows the exact moment when we are truly prepared to step into what He has for us. There may be times when you feel like your breakthrough is overdue or that your opportunity is taking too long to come. But we must understand that God's timing is always aligned with His purpose for our lives. In fact, when God opens a door, it's not just a random chance for advancement, it's an appointment. It is a specific moment in time that has been appointed for you to walk through. The door is set before you not by happenstance, but because God has deemed this the moment for you to step into what He has been preparing for you. This is not a time for hesitation or doubt. It is a time for faith and confidence, knowing that God has already prepared the way for you. Think about the story of Joseph in the Bible. Joseph was given a dream early in life about his future greatness, but the road to that destiny was filled with trials, betrayal, and years of seeming obscurity. He had to wait for God's timing, even when things appeared to be moving in the opposite direction of his dream. There were moments when Joseph could have given up, moments when it seemed like God had forgotten about him. But God's timing was always perfect. At the exact moment he was ready, God opened the door, and Joseph was placed in a position of influence and power in Egypt, fulfilling the very purpose he had dreamed about. Joseph's story teaches us a powerful lesson about divine timing. Even when we cannot see the way forward, we can trust that God is at work behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail for our good. The door will open at the precise moment when God knows we are ready to walk through it. And when that door opens, we must be prepared to move in faith. One of the greatest challenges in recognizing divine timing is that it often requires patience. We live in an instant gratification world where we expect things to happen quickly. We are accustomed to getting what we want when we want it. But God's timing requires us to trust His process, even when we don't understand it. The waiting period is not a period of inactivity, it's a time of preparation. It's a time when God is building in us the character, strength, and wisdom we need to thrive on the other side of the door. In this waiting, we are being shaped, and our faith is being tested. When God opens a door, we must also recognize that the door might not look the way we expect. It may not be easy, it may not be comfortable, and it may not be in the place or at the time we imagined. But we must trust that God's timing is always better than our own plans. If we rush into opportunities without waiting for God's timing, we may find ourselves unprepared or in a position that is not aligned with His purpose. But if we wait patiently, trusting that the door will open at just the right moment, we will step into the fullness of what God has in store for us. There will be moments when doubt tries to creep in and the enemy will whisper that it's too late or that we've missed our moment. But we must remember that when God is behind the door, nothing is ever too late. The right time for your breakthrough is not determined by external circumstances, but by the perfect plan of God. Even if you feel like you're running out of time, remember that God operates outside of time and that He is never late. He knows the perfect moment to open the door and lead you through. When that door opens, we must be ready to walk through it with faith. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to our next level. It's not enough to just recognize the opportunity. We must trust that God has already made the way. We don't have to fear what lies beyond the door because God has already prepared the path for us. When we walk in faith, we step into the divine appointments that God has arranged for us, fully confident that His timing is flawless. Divine timing teaches us to live with an awareness that God is always in control. We may not always understand why things happen when they do, but we can trust that God's timing is never early, never late, but always right on time. And when that door opens for you, know that it's not just a chance for advancement, it's your moment. It's your appointed time to walk into the destiny that God has been preparing for you all along. Don't hesitate. Walk through the door with faith, knowing that the path ahead is already made straight. Every door that God opens in your life is not random. It is intentionally connected to the divine purpose He has placed within you. You were created with a unique assignment, a specific destiny that only you can fulfill. God's plan for your life is intricately designed, and every door that opens before you is an invitation to step into that plan, to embrace the calling you were born for. The doors you encounter are not just opportunities for personal success or achievement. They are meant to bring you closer to fulfilling the purpose for which you were created, a purpose that is far greater than your own ambition. From the moment you were conceived, God had a purpose for your life. You were not born by accident or coincidence. The very fact that you exist means that you have a divine assignment, a calling that is uniquely yours. This calling is not limited to your career, your relationships, or your achievements. It's a calling to fulfill God's plan for His kingdom, to serve others, and to make an impact in the world around you. The doors that open in your life are not just about what you can gain, but about what you are meant to give. When you embrace the opportunities before you, you are not simply advancing your own life. You are stepping into the destiny that allows you to be a blessing to others. As we go through life, we encounter various doors, some big, some small, some easy to walk through, and others that require great faith and courage. But each door is a direct opportunity for you to walk deeper into the purpose God has ordained for you. These opportunities may not always come in the form you expect. The door to your purpose might not look like the door to wealth or fame. It might be a door that leads to serving others, to stepping into a position of influence where you can make a difference in the lives of those around you. It may be a door that opens to challenge you to grow, to stretch you beyond your comfort zone, or to give you a platform to impact others for the kingdom of God. Many of us look at doors through the lens of personal gain. How will this door benefit me? How will this opportunity advance my career or my financial status? While there is nothing wrong with desiring success, we must understand that the true measure of success is not about what we gain, but about what we give. When we embrace the doors that God opens, we are not just pursuing our own desires, but we are pursuing the fulfillment of God's plan. The true success in life is measured by how well we fulfill the calling on our lives and how we use the opportunities before us to be a blessing to others. Take, for example, the story of Esther in the Bible. Esther's story is a powerful reminder that the doors God opens are always tied to our divine purpose. When Esther was placed in a position of favor as queen, it seemed like a great personal achievement, but God had a higher purpose for her. The door to the throne was not just a door to personal success. It was the door through which she would save her people. She was placed in the palace for such a time as this, not for her own benefit, but to fulfill a higher calling. Esther embraced the opportunity and walked through the door with courage, understanding that her purpose was tied to the lives of others. In the same way, every door that God opens for you is not just for your own advancement. It is for the fulfillment of a purpose that will impact those around you. Your purpose is tied to the lives of others, to the community you serve, to the people you influence, and to the kingdom of God. Whether you are in business, in ministry, or in your family, every door is an opportunity to fulfill the purpose God has given you to be a blessing to others. When you walk through these doors, you step into the fullness of who God created you to be. You are walking into your destiny. The doors before you are not simply a means of success, they are pathways to your calling. If you view every opportunity through the lens of purpose, you will begin to see that your life is not just about you, it's about how you can be a vessel for God's work on the earth. Every step you take through these doors is a step closer to fulfilling the divine assignment placed on your life. Sometimes the doors that open before us may not seem significant. They may not come with a loud announcement or an obvious sign of success. But if we trust that God's plan is at work in every door, we will begin to see that each one is significant in fulfilling our purpose. Sometimes a small door leads to a great calling. Sometimes a door that seems ordinary is actually the very opportunity you need to change the course of someone's life or even the world. To embrace the doors God opens, we must align our hearts with His purpose for us. We must be willing to step through doors not because they promise personal gain, but because we understand that they are the way forward in fulfilling the purpose we were created for. When you walk through these doors, you are walking into the very thing that will bring fulfillment, joy, and a sense of true success, living out the purpose for which you were made. So as you stand before the doors in your life, remember that every one of them is an invitation to step deeper into your divine purpose. These doors are not just opportunities for success, they are the divine assignments placed before you. Embrace them with faith, with courage, and with the knowledge that they are the means by which you will fulfill your God-given destiny. Every door that opens is a chance to walk into the fullness of God's plan for your life. Don't hesitate, don't delay. Step through those doors, knowing that they are the very path to the purpose for which you were created. The doors that God opens are not meant for the passive or the fearful. These doors are reserved for those who are willing to act with courage, those who are ready to step out in faith. Often, when a door opens before us, it can be easy to hesitate, to doubt, or to shrink back in fear. We may feel unqualified, unsure, or unprepared. But the truth is, these doors require boldness and courage to walk through. The opportunity is not waiting for you to be perfectly ready or fully equipped. It's waiting for you to take the first step, trusting that God will provide what you need as you move forward. Courageous action is what turns an opportunity into a breakthrough. Without action, the doors before you will remain closed. Without boldness, the potential that lies behind the door will remain untapped. Many times, we fail to step through the door simply because we are too afraid of what lies beyond it. We are afraid of failure, rejection, or the unknown. But faith is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to move forward in spite of it. Courage is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the decision to take action, even when you don't know exactly how things will unfold. Consider the example of the Israelites as they stood on the brink of the promised land. They had wandered through the wilderness for years, waiting for the moment when God would fulfill His promise to them. But when the time came to step into that promise, it required boldness. The land they were about to enter was filled with giants, fortified cities, and obstacles that seemed insurmountable. The fear of what they saw with their natural eyes caused some of the Israelites to shrink back, but others, like Joshua and Caleb, stood firm and declared, "Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are well able to overcome it." Numbers 13:30. Their courage was rooted in their faith in God's ability to give them victory, no matter how impossible the situation appeared. This is the kind of courage we need when God opens a door for us. We have to move beyond our comfort zone, past our limitations, and step into what God has prepared for us, even if it seems intimidating or beyond our ability. When God opens a door, it's not about our strength or our qualifications. It's about His power working through us. We may not have all the answers, we may not have all the resources, but what we do have is faith in the one who is able to make a way when there seems to be no way. Courageous action also requires us to confront our fears. Fear is a powerful force that often paralyzes us, preventing us from stepping into our destiny. It tells us that we are not enough, that we don't deserve the opportunity, or that we will fail if we try. But the reality is that fear is often a sign that we are standing on the threshold of something great. Fear does not mean we should back away. It means we are about to step into something that will challenge us, stretch us, and grow us. It means we are on the verge of a breakthrough. Think about Peter walking on the water. When Jesus called him to come out of the boat and walk toward him, Peter's first reaction was not confidence, it was fear. The waves were high, the wind was strong, and he was about to step out into the unknown. But in that moment, Peter chose to take courageous action. He chose to step out of the boat, trusting that Jesus would make the way. His faith, not his ability, allowed him to walk on the water. And when he faltered, Jesus was there to catch him. This story teaches us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in the midst of it, trusting that God will be with us every step of the way. When God opens a door, we cannot wait for the fear to subside before we act. We cannot wait until we feel completely ready or confident. Courageous action requires us to move forward in faith, even when we feel uncertain or unprepared. God has already prepared the way. All we need to do is take the first step. The moment we step out in faith, we align ourselves with the purpose and power of God, and He begins to move on our behalf. It's also important to recognize that courageous action is not a one-time event. It's a continual process. The more you step out in faith, the more your courage will grow. Each door that opens requires a new level of courage, and each step you take increases your trust in God. As you walk through one door, you will find that the next door will require even more courage. But each time you step forward, you will experience God's faithfulness and provision in ways that will strengthen your faith and build your confidence. Remember, every door that God opens is an opportunity to grow, to trust, and to fulfill your purpose. But that door will remain closed unless you take courageous action. You must be willing to move beyond your comfort zone, past your limitations, and step into what God has prepared for you. The future He has for you is waiting on the other side of the door. And the only thing standing between you and it is the courage to step forward in faith. So when the door opens, don't hesitate. Don't let fear hold you back. Take that bold step, trusting that God has already made the way. Move forward with faith and courage, knowing that He is with you, that He is for you, and that every door He opens is an invitation to walk into your destiny. Faith is the key that unlocks the door God has placed before you. While recognizing the opportunity is important, it's not enough on its own. You must also believe that God is both able and willing to open that door for you, and that He has already prepared the way. The truth is, no door will open in your life unless your faith is the driving force behind it. Faith is what gives you the confidence to move forward, even when everything in front of you seems impossible, overwhelming, or out of reach. Without faith, you remain standing outside, wondering what could have been. But with faith, you have the power to unlock the doors that God has ordained for your life. When God presents a door before you, it can often look too big, too challenging, or even too far out of reach. The circumstances may not seem favorable, the resources may not be available, and the obstacles might appear insurmountable. But when you operate in faith, you understand that what you see with your natural eyes is not the full picture. Faith allows you to see beyond the obstacles, beyond the barriers, to the divine possibilities that lie on the other side of the door. Think about the story of the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible. For 12 years she suffered and spent all she had on doctors, yet she found no cure. But when she heard that Jesus was nearby, she believed that if she could just touch the hem of His garment, she would be healed. Despite the crowd, despite her illness, and despite the fact that there seemed to be no way, her faith was the key that unlocked her miracle. She pressed through the crowd and reached out, and in that moment, her faith made her whole. Her belief that Jesus was able to heal her gave her the strength and the courage to act, and that action, fueled by faith, unlocked the door to her healing. In the same way, when God opens a door in your life, your faith must be the key that propels you forward. Faith is what allows you to step through the door even when you don't fully understand the path ahead or see how things will work out. Faith says, I may not have all the answers, but I trust that God knows the way and I'm willing to follow. Your faith in God's ability and willingness to fulfill His promises gives you the strength to push forward even when the door seems too big or too challenging to walk through. Faith also gives you the strength to persevere when you face challenges and setbacks. Sometimes, when a door opens, it doesn't immediately lead to smooth sailing. You may encounter difficulties, opposition, or moments of doubt. But faith is what sustains you through these challenges. It is the anchor that keeps you grounded when the storms of life try to shake you. Faith reminds you that God is with you and that He will equip you to overcome every obstacle in your path. Take the example of David and Goliath. David was just a young shepherd boy when he faced the giant Goliath, who had struck fear into the hearts of the Israelite army. The odds were stacked against him. His opponent was a warrior, and David was just a boy with a slingshot. But David's faith in God was unwavering. He believed that God had already given him the victory even before he stepped onto the battlefield. His faith was the key that unlocked his victory. When David slung the stone and struck Goliath down, it was not just his sling that brought the giant to the ground. It was his faith in God that made all the difference. When God opens a door for you, the same principle applies. Your faith will unlock the door and give you the courage to step through it. The door may seem daunting, the journey ahead may appear uncertain, but faith enables you to take that first step. It enables you to trust that God is bigger than any obstacle, stronger than any challenge, and more than able to bring you through. Faith in God empowers you to take action, even when everything around you says it's impossible. But faith is not just about believing that the door will open. It's also about trusting that God has already gone before you and made a way. The door may seem locked, but faith believes that God has the key and that He will provide what you need in the right time. Faith is about trusting that God is not only able to open the door, but that He is willing to do so because He loves you and has a purpose for your life. Your faith in God's promises and His goodness is the key that unlocks doors of opportunity. It's what enables you to move forward with confidence even when the way seems unclear. When you face doubt, fear, or uncertainty, your faith will keep you grounded, reminding you that God is always faithful to fulfill His word. When you stand at the threshold of a new opportunity, trust that your faith in God's ability to provide will unlock that door, and you will step into the fullness of what He has prepared for you. So when God opens a door before you, don't hesitate. Trust that your faith is the key that will unlock it. Believe that God is able, that He is willing, and that He has already made a way. Step forward in faith, knowing that with God on your side, no door is too big, no challenge too great, and no opportunity beyond your reach. Your faith will empower you to walk through the door into the future He has planned for you. Head for the opportunity that empowers you and the joy you have planned for you. Timing is critical when it comes to the doors God opens in your life. God's doors are not always open forever. There is a window of opportunity, a season in which He invites you to step through. If you hesitate, doubt, or procrastinate, you may miss that moment and the divine opportunity that comes with it. The season you are in right now may never come again, and the door before you may not stay open for long. Therefore, it is crucial that you recognize the urgency of the moment and take action without delay. God works according to His perfect timing, and He knows exactly when to open the right door for you. However, the fact that He opens the door does not mean it will remain open indefinitely. The window of opportunity is often brief. Just as with any opportunity in life, if you do not act when the time is right, it could pass you by. That's why it's so important to have the discernment to recognize the moment and the courage to walk through the door when God opens it. In the Bible, we see examples of people who missed their moment because they did not act in time. One of the clearest examples is the story of the Israelites when they were about to enter the promised land. God had promised them this land, but when they arrived at the edge of it, they hesitated. They sent 12 spies to scout the land, yet the Israelites hesitated. And because of their lack of faith, they wandered in the wilderness for another 40 years, missing the opportunity that God had placed before them. The door was open, but they did not walk through it in faith. As a result, that generation never entered the promised land, and a new generation had to take their place. This serves as a powerful reminder that when God opens a door for you, you must not delay. The moment to step through that door may not come again. The circumstances you are in right now may never align in the same way. The opportunity that you have today may not be available tomorrow. God's timing is perfect, and He opens doors at the exact right moment. But timing is also your responsibility. You must be ready, you must be willing, and you must act swiftly when God presents the opportunity. Sometimes we delay out of fear or uncertainty. We wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or for a sign that we are ready. But the reality is that we may never feel completely ready, and the perfect conditions may never come. The key is to trust God and step forward in faith, even when the situation feels uncertain. If you wait for everything to align perfectly, you could miss your moment altogether. It's the act of faith that unlocks the door, not your ability to predict every outcome. The danger of procrastination is that it can lead to missed opportunities. Every time you delay, you put off the possibility of walking into the purpose God has for you. There may be moments in your life when the door is open and the timing is right, but if you don't take action, that moment passes and the door may close. Don't allow fear, doubt, or procrastination to keep you from stepping through the door God has set before you. Take the example of the parable of the 10 virgins in Matthew 25:5. Virgins were wise and prepared for the bridegroom's arrival, while the other 5 were unprepared and missed their opportunity to enter the wedding feast. When the door was closed, they were shut out. This parable is a powerful lesson about the importance of being ready when the opportunity presents itself. We cannot afford to wait until it is too late. We must be vigilant, prepared, and ready to act when the door opens. In the same way, when God opens a door for you, you must be ready to move without hesitation. You cannot afford to sit back and wait for a more convenient time or for all your doubts and fears to be resolved. The opportunity before you may be fleeting and the season you are in may never come again. The door may not remain open forever, and if you miss it, you might have to wait for a new season or a new opportunity to arise. And even then, the door may look different, or the circumstances may have changed. God is calling you to take action now. He is opening doors that lead to the fulfillment of your purpose, the advancement of His kingdom, and the fulfillment of His promises in your life. But He is also calling you to recognize that timing matters. When the door opens, do not hesitate, do not doubt, and do not procrastinate. Move forward in faith, knowing that the season you are in may be the only opportunity you have to step through that door. You have been given a divine moment. Don't miss it. Take action now, trust in God's perfect timing, and step boldly through the door He has opened for you. Time waits for no one, and the opportunity before you may never come again. Don't allow fear or indecision to steal your moment. Embrace the open door and step into the future that God has prepared for you. As we stand at the threshold of the doors that God is opening before us, let us remember that these doors are not just opportunities. They are divine invitations to walk into the fullness of our purpose and destiny. These doors are not accidents or coincidences. They are divinely orchestrated, strategically placed in our lives to propel us forward into the greatness God has already prepared for us. But the key to walking through these doors is not just recognition, it is action. Faith unlocks the door, courage propels us through, and timing demands our obedience. We must recognize that the moment we are in is not by chance. It is a divine season, and the window of opportunity is before us. We cannot afford to delay or procrastinate, for timing is critical. God's doors may not remain open forever, and the season we are in may never come again. So we must act now, stepping forward in faith, knowing that God has already gone before us and that He is with us every step of the way. This is your moment. The door is open, the opportunity is here, and the time to move forward is now. The question is not whether God will make a way, but whether you will walk through the door He has opened. Will you trust Him? Will you step out in faith, even when the road ahead seems uncertain? Will you embrace the purpose He has placed in you and move with courage into the destiny He has prepared for you? Today is the day to take action, to step into the next season of your life and to fulfill the divine calling that God has set before you. The door is open. Don't miss it. Don't let fear, doubt, or hesitation hold you back. Walk through the door with boldness, knowing that God is with you, that He has already made a way, and that the best is yet to come. The opportunity is yours. The moment is now. Step forward and watch as God unfolds His plan for your life in ways beyond your imagination. This is your season. This is your time. This is your moment. Don't miss it.